Good morning, my dear student. On the behalf of KTGM College Nasik and Department of Chemistry of this college, I am Dr. S.R. Labde, welcomes you to the lecture on gravimetric analysis. Student, in last lecture we discussed the factors affecting the solubility of precipitate. And we know that common ion effect decreases the solubility of precipitate, while formation of complex ion increases the solubility of precipitate. We also discussed that the effect of acid on the solubility of precipitate as well as effect of temperature and solvent on the solubility of precipitate. Student, in today's lecture we discuss precipitation reaction. Now how precipitate form in a gravimetric analysis, and we can discuss it with a suitable example. Now supersaturation and precipitate formation. Supersaturation and precipitate formation. Student, we know that saturated solution is the solution at equilibrium contain all solutes in a dissolved state. This solution is called as saturated solution. In a saturated solution, there is equilibrium between ionic product and the solubility product. That means here, in this case, this is a solution which consisting of maximum amount of solute in a dissolved state, and further dissolving capacity of that solution is vanished. Therefore, further added solute becomes insoluble. When further added solution becomes insoluble, that is a state of the solution called as supersaturation. Supersaturation is a state of solution state of saturated solution containing insoluble solid, and that is a stage is called as supersaturation, and this solution is called as supersaturated solution. Student, in last lecture we know that when we take a 1000 ml distilled water, and if we add a 265 microgram of barium sulfate, this is a soluble in this amount of solvent, but further 1 microgram of barium sulfate remains insoluble. When we add 265 microgram of barium sulfate in 1 liter water, then that solution is a saturated one. But when extra 1 microgram barium sulfate is added to this solution, that solution becomes supersaturated. Because here this 1 microgram of barium sulfate remains insoluble in this solution. Therefore, this is a solution that is a saturated solution containing insoluble barium sulfate, insoluble 1 microgram barium sulfate. This solution is called as supersaturated solution. It is called as supersaturated solution. Therefore, in this solution, in a 1000 ml, 265 microgram of barium sulfate is soluble, and further dissolving capacity of this solution is vanished. If we add extra 1 microgram of barium sulfate, that remains as it is, means it is insoluble. Therefore, this saturated solution have a stage of supersaturation. Therefore, saturated solution with insoluble solid, that solution is called as supersaturated solution. And in a supersaturated solution, ionic product is greater than solubility product, and therefore there is a precipitation reaction. Therefore, in a supersaturated solution, ionic product is greater than solubility product, and that's why there is formation of precipitate. Now here we know that what is the supersaturated solution. Student, now we discuss the precipitate formation in a saturated solution. Therefore, supersaturation and precipitate formation. Suppose for example, we have to precipitate out barium. Barium 2 plus is an analyte, and we have to precipitate it out as a barium sulfate as an insoluble using a sodium sulfate as a reagent. Here we discuss what is a saturated solution and what is a supersaturated solution. Suppose for example, this is a 1 liter solution, 1000 ml H2O containing Ba2 plus ion. And in this case, if we add a sulfate ion in the form of sodium sulfate, Na2SO4, then here a barium sulfate BaSO4 is formed, and here the addition of sulfate ion or sodium sulfate, that should be dropwise with a continuous stirring. Therefore, as this barium sulfate is formed, immediately it gets dissolved into the 1 liter distilled water. But when, in this case, when 265 microgram of barium sulfate is formed, up to this it is soluble in this 1 liter water. And when we add extra sulfate ion, then excess of barium sulfate is formed, and that barium sulfate becomes insoluble. That means here, in this case, barium 2 plus ion plus sulfate ion, that forms a barium sulfate precipitate. And this reaction gives a soluble product when 260 microgram per liter of this barium sulfate is formed. But when extra 265 extra or more than this, that is Ba2 plus SO4 2 minus, and when this quantity is greater than this BaSO4, then it becomes insoluble. That means here, in 1 liter, this much amount of barium sulfate is soluble, 265 microgram. But when formation of barium sulfate takes place more than this, dissolving capacity of this solution is vanished. At that time, this solution becomes supersaturated one. If it becomes supersaturated one, then it results in the formation of barium sulfate precipitate. And in this way, in this saturated solution, when a barium 2 plus plus SO4 2 minus, and if there is equilibrium with solubility product, then it is a saturated solution. That means here in this solution, all the solute is present in a dissolved state, saturated solution. In a saturated solution, there is equilibrium between ionic product and the solubility product. But when extra or excess insoluble barium sulfate is obtained, then here Ba2 plus plus SO4 2 minus plus excess of sulfate ion thus added increases the ionic product greater than solubility product. Then here this solution becomes supersaturated. And when it becomes supersaturated, then in this case the excess barium sulfate is precipitated out in order to maintain the equilibrium between ionic product and solubility product. Therefore, here when excess of sulfate ions are added into this barium sulfate solution which is soluble, then sulfate ion thus added increases the ionic product greater than solubility product. At that time, that barium sulfate becomes insoluble, that get precipitated out, because here in that solution, in supersaturated solution, this equilibrium try to maintain by the solution. Therefore, ionic product is equal to solubility product. This condition should be maintained in a supersaturated solution. For that purpose, this extra sulfate ion added that reacts with barium ion, and that forms the insoluble precipitate. Now, in a precipitation reaction, when dissolving capacity of that solute is vanished, after that a small nuclei is generated into the body of solution. In this case, a small particle of barium sulfate is formed in this solution. And this small particle of barium sulfate thus formed, it is called as nuclei. Therefore, in a precipitation reaction, first step is a nucleation process. Nucleation process is a process by which very small or tiny particle of the precipitate is generated in the body of solution, and that grows into larger crystal for formation of precipitate. Therefore, in this case, the first step in gravimetric analysis or first step in precipitation reaction is a nucleation process. Without nucleation, there is no precipitation reaction. No nucleation, then no precipitation. Therefore, precipitate formation will be takes place when there is nucleation process. Nuclei thus form that grows into larger crystal and a precipitate is formed. In this case, rate of nucleation and rate of crystal formation that determines the purity of precipitate. And in this case, the purity of precipitate, that is a most important factor in a gravimetric analysis, because we have to obtain that precipitate quantitatively in a stoichiometric form or in a purest form. Student, in gravimetric analysis, we have to consider solubility of the precipitate as well as purity of the precipitate. We have to obtain that precipitate in a stoichiometric form, that means in a purest form. Then and then only we can quantify that analyte without error. Otherwise, if precipitate is contaminated with impurities, then there is error in gravimetric analysis. Therefore, we have to discuss here what are the different types of physical or chemical phenomenon by which the impurities are introduced into the precipitate. The impurities which are introduced in the precipitate, that is because of two important phenomenon. And number one is the co-precipitation and post-precipitation. Purity of precipitate. The purity of precipitate is mostly governed by the co-precipitation, and second one, the post precipitation. Post precipitation. First of all, we discuss what is meant by co-precipitation. Co-precipitation means it is a simultaneous precipitation. Co-precipitation or simultaneous precipitation. Now here, in a gravimetric analysis, co-precipitation is the contamination of precipitate by the substances or impurities which are normally soluble in mother liquor and can be precipitate out along with main precipitate. Therefore, co-precipitation gives the impurities in the precipitate. Co-precipitation or simultaneous precipitation is the contamination of main precipitate by the substances or impurities which are normally soluble in mother liquor and can be precipitate out along with the main precipitate. And therefore, that gives the impurities in the precipitate, and that is called as co-precipitation. Now, co-precipitation in gravimetric analysis, that is because of two different events. Number one is co-precipitation due to surface adsorption. Co-precipitation due to surface adsorption. Now, this type of co-precipitation mainly occurs with the co-precipitation with or due to surface adsorption. This type of co-precipitation mainly occurs in gelatinous precipitate. That means these precipitates have strong adsorption property. Therefore, here gelatinous precipitate can adsorb its own ion or different ion on its surface, and that is called as co-precipitation due to surface adsorption. Therefore, adsorb impurities gives the co-precipitation, or adsorb impurities changes the error, or that gives the error in the gravimetric analysis. For example, silver iodide is strongly adsorbed over silver acetate, and here silver acetate is an analyte, and here silver iodide is impurities. Impurities which are less soluble generally adsorb on the analyte precipitate which is more soluble. Therefore, here these impurities, silver iodide as well as silver acetate, both are soluble at the time of precipitation reaction. And when we obtain the precipitate of silver acetate, then silver iodide is also precipitate out. And therefore, here this silver iodide is a adsorb on the surface of silver acetate as a impurities, and that is because of co-precipitation due to surface adsorption. Now second type of co-precipitation, that is a co-precipitation due to formation of solid solution. Formation of solid solution, or it is also called as occlusion. Therefore, here first one is co-precipitation due to surface adsorption and second one is co-precipitation due to formation of solid solution. It is also called as occlusion. Student, just before we discussed that when a solution reaches to a state of supersaturation, a small nuclei of the precipitate is obtained in the body of solution, that is called as nucleation process. When nucleation process is completed, these small nuclei grows into larger crystals and a precipitate is obtained. When rate of nucleation is equal to rate of formation of that precipitate, that is the building of the precipitate, are same, at that time pure crystals are formed. But when rate of nucleation is slower than the crystal growth, when the rate of nucleation is smaller than crystal growth, then larger size crystals are obtained. Larger size crystals are obtained and these are generally impure one. Therefore, impure or impurities in the crystal is because of this. When rate of nucleation is smaller, sufficient number of nuclei are not produced for the formation of precipitate, and then here other solid particles or sometimes solvent molecule present in the mother liquor, that is taken by the precipitate for formation of a crystal, and that is called as a formation of solid solution. Therefore, here for a crystal growth, sufficient number of nuclei are not available, then that precipitate, during building up the precipitate, some solid impurities present in the precipitate or sometimes solvent molecule may be adsorbed inside the precipitate in order to build up the body structure or crystalline structure of that precipitate. And this type of physical phenomenon is called as co-precipitation due to formation of solid solution. For example, if we have to precipitate out barium sulfate, then here lead sulfate that can be act as the impurities, because if lead ion are present during the precipitation of barium ion, then lead ion are get precipitated in the barium sulfate precipitate, because crystal structure of BaSO4 and PbSO4 are identical, and therefore here sometime the position of barium in the crystal that is taken by lead ion during the building of crystal, and here crystal growth takes place and formation of crystal possible. Sometimes solvent molecule may be entrapped inside the body of crystal for formation of precipitate. Such a type of impurities are due to the formation of solid solution. Therefore, co-precipitation due to surface adsorption and due to formation of solid solution, that gives the impurities in the precipitate. Student, now we discuss precautions in minimizing the co-precipitations. Therefore, here what are the different precautions that should be taken to minimize the co-precipitation? Therefore, here precautions in minimizing the co-precipitation. Co-precipitation mainly because of surface adsorption and formation of solid solution that we can minimize by using, number one, by using pure reagent. If reagents are used pure that are free from impurities, then we does not have a co-precipitation. That means we does not have a impurities of other crystals if we use the pure reagent. But in chemistry it is not possible because analyte is always associated with its co-ion, and due to this there is always formation of some other precipitate because of the surface adsorption or formation of solid solution. But if we use a pure reagent, most of the impurities we can decrease. Number second, the precipitation reaction should be carried out in a dilute solution. Now in a dilute solution, the degree of supersaturation is maintained to a lower value, and therefore here chances of co-precipitation decreases. Generally the precipitation reaction is carried out in a homogeneous solution, and precipitate formation is carried out by changing the condition of the solution such as pH, temperature, etc., in order to generate the precipitate into the supersaturated solution. Therefore here when we use a dilute solution for a precipitation reaction, then we can remove the chance of co-precipitation. If the precipitate is associated with co-precipitation, then digestion process is used. Digestion process in which we can kept that precipitate in contact with its mother liquor by increasing its temperature. When we increase the temperature of that precipitate, smaller size particle of the precipitate are get dissolved into the mother liquor, and those are grows into larger crystal. Therefore here digestion step is carried out in which we can heat that precipitate to a higher temperature so that that precipitate is get dissolved into the mother liquor, and after that we can provide sufficient time to develop the crystal from that mother liquor, and this process is called as digestion. Digestion removes the co-precipitation, because when precipitate is get dissolved into the mother liquor, the impurities are also get dissolved into the mother liquor, and therefore when new precipitate is obtained, that is free from the impurities. Sometimes we can carry out recrystallization by using a suitable solvent. In this case, the solvent should be dissolve that precipitate at a higher temperature, and that solvent does not dissolve the precipitate at room temperature, so that we can remove the impurities from that precipitate by heating and dissolving that precipitate to higher temperature, and we can form the precipitate by lowering the temperature, so that the precipitate thus formed it is free from the impurities. Therefore recrystallization, that is a most important step carried out in gravimetric analysis for increasing the solubility of precipitate. Next step is use of organic solvent. Organic solvent have ability to dissolve many impurities. Generally impurities those are present in a complex form. Therefore chances of co-precipitation are decreases to greater extent if we use the combination of aqueous and organic phase for formation of precipitate. And number 6, the reagent should be added slowly with constant stirring. Constant stirring. Therefore, here generally when reagent are added at a time, the precipitate formation takes place and many co-ion of the reagent or that analyte are get adsorbed on the surface of precipitate. To avoid this, reagent should be added slowly so that degree of supersaturation can be kept low. Formation of precipitate is not possible, and when precipitation reaction is completed, then we can form that precipitate. Therefore, student, here we can minimize the co-precipitation by using pure reagent. The precipitation reaction should be carried out in a dilute solution. Dilution step can be carried out for purification of the contaminated precipitate. Similarly, decrystallization step is also carried out for contaminated precipitate using suitable solvent. Organic solvent also reduces the co-precipitation, and precipitation reaction should be carried out by adding a reagent slowly with a constant stirring. Student, this is all about the co-precipitation and precautions about co-precipitation. In this lecture, we discuss how precipitate is formed. Precipitate is formed in a supersaturated solution. In a supersaturated solution, there is chances of co-precipitation and post-precipitation. We discuss here co-precipitation due to surface adsorption and co-precipitation due to formation of solid solution, as well as we discuss the precautions for minimizing the co-precipitation. With this, student, I invite you to my next lecture. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Keep learning. Happy learning.